Hey, we're back again on Fairway Conversations, the podcast where we dive into the world of weekend warrior golf. I'm your host, Gabe the Calilobo. In each episode, we feature a guest from the golfing community. We uncover the secrets behind each golfer's success, explore the challenges they face, and gain valuable insights into the game that we all love. Today, I want to say thank you to Soda Jerk Shot for sponsoring this episode. Soda Jerk Shot is the award-winning liqueur that comes in two fantastic flavors, orange cream and root beer. Visit sodajerk.com to find out where you can get a bottle. Soda Jerk does remind you to be a jerk responsibly because Soda Jerk Shot is 70 proof. On today's episode, we have a former D1 athlete and college football coach who is now starting to take the corporate world by storm. We're sitting down with my brother, Kyle Jacobo. Welcome, Kyle. How you doing today? I'm excited to have you on the show.
I'm doing great, man. Excited to be here. Still waiting for my soda jerk in the mail so I can
Oh,
give it a shot. Give it a shot in my next golf outing.
yeah.
So I keep checking and it hasn't showed up yet.
I'll have to get some over to you. I
Yeah.
think you kind of mentioned to me that you were going to be in Southern California coming up here pretty quick. And
Yeah.
so back at you, you threw it on me, like, hey, like tomorrow I'm going to be there if you want to come see me.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's that easy. Just leave work and come to Disneyland, and we'll be there. It's like magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool how we make that all happen. But for those of for those of you that don't know, I live in the Southern California area, and my brother he lives in Chandler, just outside of Phoenix, so in the Arizona area. So it's always cool because we usually talk at least once every couple of weeks. Sometimes, depending on how things are going, a little bit more often. But and then every time we do get together, we always try to take the opportunity to play some golf together. So I'm looking forward to the next time we can make it happen. Yep.
Next time I'm out in California, we'll make sure we get some golf going. I wish I would have planned a little better for this trip, but I had my head in the clouds.
Yeah. I get you. I get you. Hey man, you're busy. You're getting going on a new career and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's a lot of pressure with getting that started. And and then you guys are planning a trip and you got two young boys. And so, just trying to put all that stuff together, it can get a little tough.
No doubt, no doubt.
So Kyle, let's jump into this thing here a little bit more. Talk to me a little bit about your golf journey and how you got started playing this game.
I think I'm trying to think. I think it really got started when I was in high school. Nothing too crazy. I know, me, you, and Dad would go hack it up at the local courses like Sierra Lakes, or if anyone's from Southern California and you play golf, you know about the Colton Golf Course, the little
Oh
par
yeah.
three. And if you don't, then you're not a real golfer if you've never golfed there. Uh, you need
True.
if you've never played on that track, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
for
yeah,
sure.
getting through high school and just playing every once in a while. But yeah, I remember. I think it was my 18th birthday, I believe. I asked for my own custom golf clubs, and we went down. Me, you, and Dad went down to the Golfsmith or whatever it was there in Fontana off Foothill, and got me a set of Snake Eyes, and I rocked those for probably about 8 years, maybe even a little longer.
Yeah.
But never played enough to get good to where I was comfortable, maybe, and just played as I coached. I got into a little bit more golf and with some of my coworkers, and like I said, I never took it serious enough though to where I got good. I would just be out there for fun on the weekends, and fun always led to frustration.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
and finally I had enough. So about the last 3 years, been fortunate enough to have about 5 to 6 weeks off in the summer. So I'd really focused in on playing a lot, trying to practice every day, watch videos, just try to add things to my game to make me have fun when I get out there on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's like always a big goal is just trying to get out there and to have some fun. You mentioned you had Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was one of the brands of Golfsmith, so that was a long time ago, and it just brings back some memories because I remember I think I rocked Snake Eyes. They were my first custom, like, built to my specs types of clubs, and
Yep.
I think I even handed them down to Gabriel David, and he rocked them for a while. So before he finally made a change. But what's in the bag for you right now?
Yeah.
Like what are you
Well,
rocking now?
well, if I could take one step back before I answer that
Sure,
question,
sure.
one thing I failed to mention prior to the Snake Eyes was Dad's left-handed clubs and those wooden woods and
Yeah,
little drivers. I used to use those prior to getting the
yeah.
Snake Eyes Club. So I can't believe I forgot to mention that. I'm in a place right now where yes, I do need to get fitted for some new clubs,
Hmm.
but I got fitted through Second Swing for something to get me by for a little while. As I continue to improve my game and do all that jazz, it was just the best option for me at that time.
Yeah, yeah. Second Swing is actually pretty good. I follow them a lot on social media, whether it's Instagram or on TikTok, and they're really huge there in the Phoenix area, and they seem to be pretty comparable, at least when they're talking, to things like Golf Tech, or or even going over to like maybe Golf Galaxy or something like that. And I know the stuff that's on social media. I listen to it because they're very very knowledgeable, and they do talk about like swing technique. That's very relatable to what we're us weekend warrior golfers. But then they also have golf club reviews and things like that. So I do like the second swing information that they put out there.
Yeah, no, you could every time you go in there, you're gonna buy something. I think it's almost a guarantee because you could go hit in the simulators. The people there are super friendly. They help you out a bunch. Um, I think they do a great job at rating their clubs from the amount of use that they've had and stuff like that. So you're not just going in there and getting crappy clubs. Just like you're going to play it against sports or something like that. You could go in there and get some quality stuff. And yeah, they're always super helpful and they got a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Kind of talking about the simulators and stuff that they have over there. Uh, what about technology for you? Are you big into the technology right now that happens with golf?
I have your typical rangefinder. I use that. I use my watch.
Hmm.
But what I've found right now is I get too distracted in worrying about that stuff and I lose focus.
Yeah,
And so I kind of stay away from it. I get my basic yardage from my rangefinder and I kind of tell myself, all right, we need to get the ball obviously as close to the hole as possible, but like let's get it to the green, let's keep it straight. Um, you know, you hate to have more strokes, but for me, if I'm able to, if I have to add an extra stroke and hit a 8 instead of a 7, I do that just
yeah,
so I can stay consistent and comfortable throughout the round.
yeah, yeah. Are you feeling comfortable with your yardages right now? I think when we played a little bit earlier this year, you were kind of in between on some yardages. How are you feeling right now with where you're at?
Uh, I would say I'm pretty uncomfortable with my yardages,
Okay.
and I think a lot of that has to go back to like my practicing and focusing on my swing technique. Because if I took some golf lessons this actually earlier this year for probably about a month and a half, and it was really beneficial to me, and it really helped my swing out,
Hmm.
and I was crushing the ball. So I added a lot of yards to my club, so trying to get that figured out. But as I slowed down with the lessons, kind of lost some of that consistency. So now it's there's a big gap, I would
Yeah,
say, in my
yeah,
swing with. We'll just use a 7 iron as an example. I could hit it anywhere from 150 to 175, 180 yards,
yeah.
and it's me. I have to get back out there and practice more and get back into a routine and dial in my swing.
Sure, sure. Maybe some of it might be a little bit of swing tempo. Could be ball placement. Some of those types of things. Could also just be how you're feeling that day. You're in Arizona, so when that hot weather is out, the ball can fly a little bit further, and I can see that could kind of screw with you there a little bit, because you might be thinking, hey, on average, I'm like 160, 165 with that 7 iron, but you get a 110-degree day, it might fly out there,
Hmm.
175. So that can mess with you.
No doubt.
So, right now, what about some memorable moments playing? You're in Arizona. I mean, we were out there. We had a good time earlier this year. The whole family got together. I want to say thank you for putting together a couple of pretty awesome rounds where, you were able to get 8 to 12 of us together on one round, which was pretty great. And and then we were able to put together another round or so, and and you and I and Gabriel David and dad and stuff. And, those are always memorable moments. So I appreciate that. But how about for you? What about some what about some memorable moments that you've had?
No doubt, no doubt, it was a ton of fun, and the Rangers probably still mad at us
Yeah,
for
he is.
having an uneven amount of people or
Yeah,
all that jazz. So
I know.
Southern Dunes, man, but they treated us right. It was great. Uh, I would say I tell people this story all the time. Uh, my most memorable moment, I was playing at Bear Creek
Hmm.
here in Chandler. I call that my home course because it's about a mile away from my house. And I was playing on a hot summer day, probably like 112 and like 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was out there by myself. Um, I was kind of just, I go pretty fast when I'm alone. And so I was cruising along and I get to the 10th hole. I had a really good drive, put it right in the middle of the fairway. Then I freaking hit the green on my
Mm,
second shot. And
okay.
I was probably about 40 feet from the cup. I was like, oh, sweet, man. I was like, oh, I hit a green in regulation. Like, I was fired up about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get onto the green. I'm about 40 feet away, and I sink this putt. It's probably the best putt I ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And nobody was there to see it. And so, to this day, it's like it's like the beast from Sandlot. It's just a
Yeah.
legend that, people don't really believe, like, nothing until you see it. And so I can't get anybody to really buy that I hit a 40-foot putt, especially if they play with me all the time. They're like, yeah, bullshit, you know. Uh, but another one, we had a golf outing when I was coaching with our staff, and we were playing up at the Kierland Golf Resort up in Scottsdale, and I think it was about
Hmm.
175-yard par three, and we had it was like $5 on the hole who stuck it close to the pin. And it was a shot of the day for me, and I freaking nailed it about I think it was about 3 feet away.
Yeah.
So I got me about $15 and got to brag for a couple holes, and that was a fun one as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because you're a lefty, and obviously it looks awkward for me to watch you swing, but I when you when you hit one that's shanked to the left, I feel so bad. Um because dude, honestly, your effing swing is so beautiful. Like I just want it to be perfect. Like every single time, I want to see like this little tiny draw because it's just such a smooth swing that you have. I can't wait until you can really dial it in. And I know you're working towards it, but I can't wait till you can really dial it in because you kind of remind me of, I don't know if you watch any of the YouTube golf, but Grant Horvat I feel like is like the smoothest swing that's out on YouTube golf. You should probably check him out. And I think
Hmm.
you're tall and lanky kind of like he is, and that just that smooth swing. And dude, when you can make it and you put it together, it's going to be people need to watch out. All your buddies are going to have to watch out.
No doubt. I feel it, man. When I hit some good balls and like you get that feeling. You get on a little bit of a roll for a couple swings, and you get some confidence and stuff like that. And so that really helps. And
Yeah.
I know that it's there, and
Yeah.
I know that I could do it. It just comes with the just some practice and being coached up. That's kind of the thing because I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I know what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
obviously I have no clue.
Yeah.
And so just having folks help me through, along the way, or getting back into, the swing coach that I was going to see for a little while, it'd be super beneficial.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the things with both of us is neither one of us really lack confidence, do we?
No, no. So I'm gonna go out there and try to win every time.
So am
I'm pretty
I.
realistic, but I'm still gonna compete.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you had any I know you've been working with the coach and stuff like that, but has there been any sort of breakthrough moments that one thing that's really improved, like maybe it's your putting, or I've got the wedges kind of dialed in, or maybe the driver's being a little bit better. Is there something that you've really had kind of maybe a breakthrough moment on?
No, I feel like I've really improved my putting. I
Hmm.
haven't played a lot in the last month and a half, but leading up to that, I think my putting has improved.
Hmm.
There's a couple times I wouldn't say deadly, but I wasn't missing much,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I'm getting the ball close, especially on the long putts, like I'm not, they're not skating by the hole anymore. They're coming up maybe a little short or lipping out and things like that. So I would think, I've improved a lot putting.
And that's a big key, is just being able to put it up there close and not be able to tuck it up nice and tight in there, and it not roll past 25 feet after, just because you crushed it and you're just like, oh shit, and making it
Yeah,
even more difficult and compounding the frustration that might happen that comes along with that. So uh you
yeah.
you were you were kind of talking about
I,
that you haven't really played too much in a couple of weeks, and I think one of the big things though is that balance of home life, work life, having the kids now, and everything else, and and being a good husband as well. So how are you balancing those commitments and being able to try to play golf?
yeah, it is tough because getting a business going and rolling with that and investing the time that's needed there to make sure I'm successful. And then you get home at night or early afternoon, and it's time to you got to play with the boys and um, talk about the day and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, it's like bath and bed.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, it's there's opportunities to do it and go, and I want to, but then I've missed out on so much stuff over the last 4 or 5 years that
Yeah.
I make a conscious effort to stick around, especially on the weekends. So I kind of pick and choose my spots on when I'm going to go golf, and I try to plan it out at least a week or 2 weeks ahead, and so I could just be like, hey, I'm gonna take Sunday or Saturday morning. I'm gonna go play around, and I'll be home because it's going to take 5 hours by the
Oh
time it's
yeah.
all said and done, maybe even longer. So by the time you eat and maybe have a beer or two afterwards and all that stuff, and so I just try to I try to calculate really well on when I'm going to go, and that does, with that I sacrifice improvement in the game,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you got to play to get better. But it's been good, and I think as things settle down from a business standpoint, I'll be able to find more opportunities to go play, maybe even during the week,
Yeah.
um, and to get back to where I want to be. But it's definitely a struggle or a juggling act.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that part of it for sure. Kind of like you've had a little bit of life changes, especially on the work side. Me too, on the work side, at least for the, I wouldn't say the foreseeable future, but the next 4 to 6 months. Um, we've with my job, we've really cranked up a lot of projects, and so I've kind of living in LA during the week, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you got like these afternoons to go play golf now and stuff like that because you're not commuting as much." But it's trying to find that flow, right? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to find,
no doubt.
how am I going to balance work and being on top of that and trying to get my tasks done, which usually means, maybe being at the office until, 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and then finding that flow of where am I going to go play and where am I going to go practice. And, so it'll take a little bit of time, and I'll be living in LA during the week for about 6 months at least, and I'll figure it out, and I'm sure you'll figure it out as well.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just getting. I think you hit it on the head. Hit that flow.
Hmm.
Some consistency with the schedule. Like I've been so regimented for so many years on like what I do from Monday to Sunday, especially during this time of year. And now it's like it's completely up in the air. One day just
Yeah.
Monday today doesn't look like Monday next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the schedule is always evolving, and so getting able to get into that flow, like you said, is key.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to ask about enjoyment of the game. I know you and I talk offline a little bit, and there's definitely some days like you're so excited about it, and then there's some days you get a little bit frustrated. Is there anything that you're working on right now to help increase that enjoyment? I mean, to be honest, you and I have discussed it. I'm not saying that you've never said, "Hey, I'm giving up on golf," but you've definitely said you get pissed off if like, I want to be better, and I want to be, it's like I feel like because you want to compete, right? And so, what
Yeah.
about just trying to manage that enjoyment? Is there anything that makes you happy?
Zero things make me happy. No, I'm just kidding. Um, for me, going into a round, it's a mindset. I don't play with people I don't want to be around.
Yeah.
So that helps because you're around people that are fun. You could talk crap to each other. You could push and encourage each other because I don't play with any world beaters by any means. Like
Yeah.
we all have our faults, and as I get frustrated through a round, it's usually when I get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's hot and um, you get a little worn down and it's just more of a you got to pull yourself out of it. Someone's got to make you laugh,
Yeah.
whether it's a joke or maybe someone, again, the folks that we play with, and someone does something stupid and we point and laugh at them.
Yeah.
That could pull you out of a funk, and bring some more joy back into the game.
Sure.
If
Sure.
someone trips and falls or something like that, or takes a card off of a sand trap, or whatever it might
Yeah.
be, and
Maybe they flip it.
it's
Maybe they
just
flip
it's
the
just
card and hold on to the beer.
it, exactly. It's
That might have
there's
happened
a few
before.
things that there's a couple things in life
Yeah.
that really turn a golf game around, and
Oh
that's one
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in all seriousness, I think it goes back to a mindset and
Sure.
being able to pull yourself out of it a little bit. And like for myself, I feel like I'm realistic with my talent level, so
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a step back and do the things that I'm good at to to make positive steps in the round
Yeah.
and not try to make the hero shots.
Yeah.
Um, it's just not. You try to make those hero shots and you just get more frustrated.
I think that's a big key. And over multiple episodes now, we've talked about the hero shot, whether it's with Gabriel or Matt or even Nate, who's been a recent guest and talking about that hero shot. And that he kind of mentioned that was like a big difference for him was not taking those hero shots anymore. And I think, especially when you get out there with your buddies and stuff like that, like they want you to take that hero shot, but when you don't execute, it leads to frustration. And so sometimes it's
Yeah.
better just to take your medicine and live to swing another swing. And then, so that way it doesn't, you're not frustrated for the next two or three holes. And then you're like, I got to grab that beer or something like that. I need something to calm me back down,
Hmm.
type of thing. You stay in the moment. Uh, one thing that
Yeah. No, a lot of it for me. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot. I was gonna say a lot of it for me with I would say not necessarily a hero shot, but it's off the tee box.
Mm-hmm.
I play with a lot of guys that are really good with the driver,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not. I'm super inconsistent. So, I'll hit a 4 or 5 iron off every single tee, and I'll pull the driver out every now and again when we're having fun and just to practice and stuff like that. But you are playing a little bit of catch up, but at the same time you're playing
Yeah.
and you're in control of what you're doing. Whereas if I just slice one into the desert, now I'm freaking trekking along trying to dodge rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think one of the questions that I usually like to ask is, what is the social aspect of playing golf? But I think you've already kind of answered that question. You love going out and playing with your buddies. You love going out and playing with your friends. Um, what about as a single though? I know I play my best when I'm playing as a single. Do you enjoy playing as a single at all?
yeah, I don't necessarily mind it.
Hmm.
It's been a while since I've done it, but I have no problem getting out there and playing with folks. I would agree with that comment. I'd probably play a little bit better, and that might be the social aspect of it, though, is that like maybe you generate some conversation with who you're playing with, but for the most part, you're not there with your friends, and so there's less distraction.
Yeah.
throughout the round because you're there and you're just kind of dialed in on what you're doing and you kind of help the other people out and you just get along and play and um, but yeah, definitely more focused and dialed in when you play as a single.
Sure, sure. We talk about it here, and I brought it up multiple times. And my buddies, they really effing bust my chops, because we always text each other like after when we're having a round and the score, and I I laugh, but I'll be honest, I get a little frustrated, because I want to play as well as I play as a single as I do against them, right? Because I want to,
Hmm.
I really do want to pound them into the ground. you know, I think that is the competitive side that really does come out, that I think golf does breed, and that's why we all go back out there and we want to play again, and we want to get the see the lessons, or get the lessons with the coach, and upgrade our gear and do all of those types of things, is because we are competitive and we want to be better than our friends.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would say every round that I've ever played, since I started playing, no matter how frustrated I get or how bad I play, I always hit that one shot that keeps you bringing back,
Oh yeah.
that brings you back, that everyone talks about, and I'm sure we all do.
Yeah. Yep.
You're going to hit a pure shot every round, and you're going to feel good about yourself, and go home and tell your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, like, man, I hit that 40-foot putt. You know,
Yeah.
I could do
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah.
So
I think well, I know one of the things now is Sonia is really starting to be a little bit more invested in golf. She's she regripped some clubs that she's got. I know once it starts to cool down a little bit, I think she's going to get some lessons. So I'm kind of excited about that we're going to be able to maybe go out there on like a Sunday afternoon and swing it together and have some fun. And
mhm.
she's understanding, I think, more, especially with the podcast now, and how much golf I'm playing, like what it really means to me both mentally and physically. And so I'm excited because she's been ultra supportive about it lately. Like recently went to Texas, and I shot a 78 down in Texas, and I sent her the message, "Hey, I shot a 78," and she's like, "Oh my gosh, babe, that congratulations, that's so exciting." And so, um, I that's making for myself. That's been making it a lot better. Is that she's
Yeah,
really giving me that excitement, and it pumps me up, to go out there and want to be better.
no doubt. Yeah, encouragement always helps. It's from no matter where it comes from. I think in any aspect of life, man. If someone's cheering you on, like you want to work harder because you want to see the fruits of your labor,
Sure.
and it's you're not going to take steps backwards.
Yeah.
You're investing a lot of time in it, so why not be better?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What about some challenges that are out there on the course? Is there one thing that you just really fighting right now that you're trying to overcome?
If there's water, I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll tell
That
you
is
that.
true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Ocotillo golf course out here down the street that we play at a good amount. You've played there before, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, that I've gotten better on the course, but there's a ton of water out there, man, and it's tough. But in all seriousness, I would say being in the sand, I think I've gotten a little bit better at it. Is being able to get out and how to hit the shots and where to align. And I'm not flying balls over the green anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I would say that's still something that is tough for me. Is like because I don't know the why I'm doing it. I just I learned it, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just trying to copy what I saw on a video or heard or learned from somebody else, but I don't necessarily like understand the whole concept of getting out of the trap. And
Yeah.
so I'm getting better at it, but I could still be a lot better at it if I knew why I
Sure.
was doing what I was doing.
Sure. No, I get it. I get it. Well, it's good though that you are having some hurdles that you're starting to overcome, and I think once whatever, like two or three of these hurdles, you overcome those. Next thing you know, you're going to pick up a lot of momentum, and dude, that score is going to go way down, or the handicap's
No
going to go
doubt,
way
no
down.
doubt.
So yeah, yeah. What about personal aspirations? Do you have any goals that you're striving for right now in your golf game?
Right now, it's get out on the course some more.
Okay.
But I think for me, it's last summer I was down in the 80s. Consistently I was
Hmm.
shooting from anywhere from an 85 to a 90.
Yeah.
And this year I haven't played nearly as much, and I've been anywhere from 90 to 100.
Yeah.
And so being consistently in the 80s, I would say is one of my main goals right now as I continue to move forward. I'll have more time to play this year in the fall in the winter time, so I definitely think it's attainable.
Hmm.
But it's a little frustrating, you get out there and you made so much improvement last year, and then you're kind of right back where you started this year. But that again, that goes to not being out there enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to put in that work and to stay
Hmm.
consistent, it's difficult. My handicap's been going down, and I noticed I took a couple of weeks off actually, not necessarily by design, but I did need a little bit of a break. We had some family stuff that was going on here in SoCal, and I was busy with a couple of these little life changes and stuff like that was happening with work, and so um, kind of put the golf game on the back burner. And but taking that little break mentally, I was not doing the podcast, I wasn't out there practicing. I came back with a little bit of a vengeance the next couple of rounds. So
Hmm.
I think sometimes you need that little tiny reset, and then you can come back and pedal to the floor.
Of course, my college football coach always used to say, "Too much is just as bad as not enough."
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
great
that was
advice.
our message every Saturday night after the games.
Yeah. Yeah, good advice on that. Yes. How do you define success out on the golf course? Is it, are you measuring, I'm trying to not three putt. I know that's everybody's driven by score, but is there some little tiny successes that happen and you're like, that made it a good round?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, obviously, like you said, score. Anytime I beat my previous score, I feel really good about it. But yeah, I do try as I've worked on my mindset of golf. When I get out there, I try to find the little wins throughout the course.
Hmm.
Again, whether it be like you said, not three putting, um, being in control of the ball when I'm 150 yards and in, and being able to hit nice shots, and if not on the green, close to the green,
Yeah.
where I'm going in the right direction and I'm not flying the ball or hitting it left or right. Like I'm in a good position. I feel like that's super successful, at least for my game. If I'm not sticking it on the green inside of 150 yards every time, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But am I controlling what I'm doing? That would be some success for me. And then this kind of goes into the same realm, but on par threes, where's the ball landing?
Sure.
And if I'm obviously on the green, that's great. But if I'm in a position to make a par, whether I be on the fringe or a little bit in front of the green, I feel like I'm doing well on the hole.
Yeah. 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 I got you. I got you on that. Um, I think success for me right now is making sure that I eat my Uncrustables at the right time when I'm playing.
I have adopted that. I have adopted that.
I know.
If we got them in the freezer, I take them.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Someone just bought me a couple of big boxes of them, and, two around to go with me
Yep.
consistently. And I try to have them on about 7 or 8, or maybe a little bit earlier, 5 or 6, and then about 12 or 13, just to try to keep that energy up. But sometimes that's how I define success is, oh, shoot, I forgot to
Yeah.
eat my Uncrustables.
Yeah. No,
So,
those things are clutch, man. I don't really eat breakfast, so
mhm.
uh, going to play golf, it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting hungry. Oh great, I got the sandwich right there in the icebox.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
So
for sure.
right, it comes in handy.
Yeah. All right, man. I got to ask you then on this one. So you are extremely stylish when it comes to your clothing, And on this podcast, we definitely talk about clothes and the golf drip. So, right now, what is your golf drip and who are your favorite designers? Because you are a designer guy.
So I would have to tip my cap to my wife on that.
Yep.
She hooks it up all the time with my golf polos, and I like Bad Birdie.
Okay.
I got a Bad Birdie hat. I got about five or six Bad Birdie polos. I like to go out there if I'm feeling saucy. I got some Oakley shades. The big ones that I like
Yeah,
to
man.
wear.
Yeah.
Um, it's like the old saying, you look good, you feel good, you play good. So I
Hell
try to
yeah.
go in with that mindset. Uh, and then and as I transition as well, like from a shoe standpoint, like uh, I've being a college coach, I've worked for a lot of Adidas schools, so I used to have a ton of Adidas shoes,
Hmm.
and so I'm making my way into Nike golf shoes and stuff like that, and they are a little bit more stylish than the Adidas ones, so getting some of those, and then I'm just a normal shorts guy.
Yeah.
I just wear my golf shorts and stuff like that, but I do like a flashy top. Or some cool sunglasses and stuff like that. It's fun, man. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't
for
you want to go
sure.
out there and be bright and like don't be a stick in the mud on the golf
No,
course?
no. You're always
Leave that for the
matching.
pros.
Oh yeah, yeah. Leave that for those
Yeah, I
guys,
try.
man.
Yeah. Well, if I walk out of the house not matching, I get made fun of.
No.
So you gotta, you gotta make sure you at least look good walking out of the house, or you know, you're gonna get a finger pointed at you in my house.
Yeah, sure. I know you talk about that look good, play good, man. If I could spat my golf cleats, my golf shoes, I would do it. So that's how when I played football, you know, I always the arms need to be tucked up so you can show off the guns. I needed my cleats spatted. I needed a pair of gloves. You know what I mean? You got to go out there. You got to look good to play
No
good.
doubt.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So, so you live in Arizona, like we were talking about earlier, and there's a lot of great courses that are over there. Um, but is there any local courses that are really special to you right now?
Um, I would say, like I mentioned earlier, and it's nothing special, but Bear Creek golf course, I just really enjoy playing there. The people are really nice. It's not a hard course, but it's definitely not super easy by any means.
Yeah.
And it's accessible. And then they also have a little par three course there as well. So if you're, short on time, you just want to get out there and play a little bit, you could walk right down there and play. And then, spend a good amount of time at Ocotillo Golf Course. It's a lot of fun. My brother-in-law plays there all the time. So, um, anytime I play with him, or if people say, "Hey, where do you want to go play?" We're usually going to go over there. Very nice course, ton of water,
Oh, your
pretty
favorite.
challenging. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, um, but those are the two that I would say that stand out the most that are in my area. But like you said, there's golf courses for days out here, and
Oh yeah.
you could play any kind of course you want. We went out to Johnson Ranch that time. I
Mm-hmm.
really like that course too. It's a lot of fun. The different landscapes,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's just it's a far drive, and you don't have to drive that far to play golf out here.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So
is.
it's like, um, but
But
yeah,
it
there's courses as far as the eye can see.
sure, sure. That Johnson Ranch, I really feel like is a hidden gem that's out there. You
Yeah, and
know.
they got great breakfast burritos
Oh
there.
yeah, they do. They do. And
Really good breakfast burrito.
we haven't had the opportunity yet to catch it where they've got the grill going. So I wonder what happens in the
Yeah,
afternoon
no
and
doubt.
evenings if like they can, they throw down on the grill or something and get a little bit barbecue out there. But I mean, they've got the setup for a party
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, it seems like it's a good place to be in the afternoon. Like, yeah, if you play like a springtime when it's 80 degrees, if you're playing like at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you're ending by whatever 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
2:30, you're probably going to be in good shape. You
Yeah.
might need an
Yeah.
Uber home.
Yeah. You're not going to make it home till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Good, kind of getting close to the end here, Kyle. So, what about your bucket list? What's the bucket list course or a couple of courses that you haven't played yet that you really want to get out there and swing it on?
Out here, people talk about it all the time, and it's not that great, but obviously it's a PGA course, so going out to TPC Scottsdale,
Mm-hmm.
and playing there would be sweet. True North is another course I want to get up to, in Scottsdale. And then, like, I know you just went out there this year, but getting up to Pebble Beach and playing,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot of fun, especially after you told me about your experience.
Oh,
It'd
fantastic.
be, it'd be great to get out there and have a weekend and do all that good stuff. It's, definitely something to look forward to and hopefully get rolling here in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to set up, you and I both play golf. Obviously, Gabriel David is obsessed with golf as well. So there's the three of us, a couple of my buddies and their brothers. So I want to focus on setting up some yearly golf trips where we go away
No doubt.
and I'm not necessarily talking about, oh yeah, guys only trip and like we just go out there and party, but I'm talking about like we can get away for just a long weekend and get 2 good rounds in and travel somewhere else
For sure.
like every year. Like just pick one out and travel and go over there. I was actually kind of thinking about either Palm Springs, early, in 2024, or going to Arizona because it's a pretty central location to start it, where Gabriel can come in. It's an easy flight for him to get there. It's an easy flight or an easy drive for me to get there, and that's where we started off at, and maybe go up to Scottsdale, and then we'll pick out a new like a new destination the next year because I think I want to get up to like
Yep.
Oregon and I want to get to like South Carolina and you know get out there and swing it,
Yeah, no doubt. That'd be
obviously.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'll start working on
for
that
sure.
and I'll start putting that together.
Okay.
And we'll
You gotta sign me up. I'm in.
yeah, yeah, we'll set it up for like 8 to 12 people and I'll be like, hey, who's coming? Like I got it
Yeah.
reserved. This is what we're doing. Who's gonna be there? So
Yep. It's
we
like
have
when
to.
you ask people if they want lunch. It's yes or no.
Exactly, exactly. What we one last question here. What about Richie? What's going on with that guy? Is he back playing again yet? I haven't talked to him about golf, but I know the last time we were out there, he wasn't able to make it. So is he back swinging it
No,
locally?
he's definitely into playing. Again, I think it's more like I said, it's on us to get out there and do it.
Sure.
You know, we have been spending a lot of time together. We went to football game last weekend and
Yeah.
football game the weekend before, and so we've been watching a lot of football on the weekend. Tell you
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's just us getting out there and playing.
Yeah.
So uh, we just got to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm gonna try to get out there here. I'm hoping I can get out there and maybe in November is my goal right now because even I need some brother time. Obviously,
Yeah, no
we're
doubt.
we're away from each other, and I always getting these
I'll
little.
be there on Tuesday, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to make it. I was I was talking to Sonia. I was talking to Sonia, and I told her, I said, "Oh yeah. By the way, my brother said they're gonna be here like Tuesday through Thursday," and so we were honestly we were kind of looking at can we maybe link up with you guys on Wednesday night as a potential possibility for
Yeah,
dinner or something like that, because I will be here in LA, but I do have a golf thing on Thursday with work, and so I was like, well, maybe I can come home that day and we can meet halfway or something. I can
hmm
meet you along the way. So uh
yeah, yeah. We
you
can figure whatever works out. I know I wasn't super communicative, so
it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, maybe if not, I do want to try to get out in November because I've got Gabriel coming up here in October, and then I think November's kind of free, and then in December, Jenica's coming and Gabriel's coming, and so we're gonna get locked down here pretty quick, and then we'll see what we can make happen
yeah,
November and maybe late in December as well.
sweet. Yeah,
Uh,
sounds good, man.
All right, man. Well, Kyle, it's been great talking to you today. Is there anything you would like to promote at all? I mean, this is the opportunity.
No, if you want to, anybody wants to I'm in the financial planning business now with Northwestern Mutual. You could get on my Twitter at coach_Jacobo and click on my website, kind of see what we're all about. But, we're all about education in the financial world, and we feel that everyone deserves a financial plan, whatever that might look like. No two are going to be the same. So, take a peek and see what you think and reach out to me. My email, my phone number's on there, and I'd be happy to meet with anybody that's open to the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wrapping up here, as always, you can find me on my social media as well at Fairway Conversations on Instagram and also at Calilobo45 on Instagram. If you like movies, you can catch me on my other podcast, 90 Minutes on Film or Dogs, Fiction, and Brown. I'd like to say one last time thank you to my friends over at Soda Jerk Shot for sponsoring this episode. So, all right, Kyle, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being on. It was a good time talking to you. And you know me, man, I always freaking love talking about golf. I mean, it seems like when we have like our morning conversations and we're commuting a little bit on the way to work,
Yeah,
it always turns to golf.
it does. It never fails. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a pleasure being on, Gabe, and it was a lot of fun, man.
All right. I love you.
All right, love you too, man.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Don't